came to this 2 points. I think this solidifies Crawford, and I think this is just the start for Errol Spence. I'm saying, what separates these guys in truth? Like I say, to me, Crawford this solidifies Bud. Everything that he's done. He's went up 2 divisions, 3 divisions now. This is Errol Spence. This is the first thing he really doing in boxing. I wanted to say that too. Bud, solidifies everything he's done, climbing the ranks, jumping so fast. It's almost like Shane Mosley when he ascended from 35 to 47. So this solidifies Bud, and of course we can go on and on, but like I say, that's really the pinnacle, because where we've been, this guy really just getting started. Like I say, he been in that 1 division, ain't really doing too much, and he's still taking it forever to get to his cherry on top, which is Bud Crawford. So
why can't Errol Spence, Terence Crawford be an even split? Says Team Crawford member Bernie. That's what I want to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Part 2 of the remix. So I made a video about this, but I want to talk about some different aspects of it. Now, Bernie the boxer, who's Team Crawford, representing, the Crawford brand in Omaha. And you guys heard the clip at the beginning. The title of that video was something to the effect of, why can't it be an even split for Spence Crawford? And I want to talk about that in further detail. For starters, that's not how business works. You know what I mean? Like, you had Bob Arum, who worked with Crawford for the better part of 10, 11 years. And Bob Arum recently did interviews with The Athletic and anybody who would listen, stating that Crawford does not sell. He can't sell. He's unable to, he has an inability to sell. He needs to be more like Teofimo, Floyd Mayweather, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, and have the gift of gab and sell himself. And people felt whatever they felt about it, but that's what's been put out by Bob Arum. And then you have the negotiations going on with Spence and Crawford. It seems to be taking a long time. I hope the fight happens. I can't say the fight will or won't happen. That's not my job. I will report the facts as soon as that is made available, what is decided. But to have someone from Team Crawford, say this thing, that leads me down a road where I'm asking certain questions. Because in the past, it looks like a lot of the things that Bernie the boxer has said has been an echo chamber or mirroring what Crawford and or Crawford fans also are saying, right? And if that is the case, then to me, it sounds delusional. Like, well, how is this even a question? Who should get the lion's share of the money? Why can't it be a 50-50 split? Why is that even a question? In what business is this something that people are confused about? For example, in business, if you have the leverage, then you're going to use the leverage, point blank, period. If you can, let's say you're an actor in Hollywood, if you can command a certain paycheck and a certain number, you're not going to say, oh, don't give me 20 million for this movie, only give me 4. No one's going to do that. It doesn't make sense, because as an A-list actor, if you're, Tom Cruise or Will Smith, The Rock, or whoever, Chris Tucker when he did the Rush Hour movies, and you could command big money, then that's what you're going to do. And no more, no less. So boxing is a business, and boxing as a business is no different. So if you're going to ask a question, how come it's not an even split, or why is it not 50-50? Then that means you have to be bringing equal things to the equation, or pretty dang close to equivalent. And I really don't see that being the case. You listen to Bernie and Crawford, the Bud buddies and the Crawford fans or whatnot, and I'm hearing the same kind of lingo, but it doesn't really jive. Like Bernie and Crawford fans, for the most part, they're saying stuff like Crawford was undisputed. Crawford moved up so many weight classes. What does that have to do with the matter at hand? A fight at welterweight, in the welterweight picture, with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. I struggle to understand that. It's great. That's Crawford's career. That's what it'll be remembered for. Those things are great. Those accolades are great. But what you've done in a previous division doesn't make you the man in a brand new division. Like Usyk. Usyk, he was undisputed too at the cruiserweight division. But Alexander Usyk had to earn his keep and beat Joshua, which he did do, to really get the respect at heavyweight, because it's a whole different ball game. Heavyweight, you can weigh whatever you want, versus cruiserweight, there's a weight limit. There's a cap to how much you can weigh, right? So those are inherent differences. So despite being undisputed, he couldn't bring that into the fold with Joshua and say, oh, I'm the A side over you because I moved up more weight classes than you. Joshua is 6'6", and he's also 250, 260 pounds. So I don't see how Joshua, if he's been pretty big like this his whole career, then he could have never made cruiserweight, because he's always been, probably 220 or higher. So he would have never been eligible for cruiserweight. So does that mean in the first fight that he doesn't get top billing? Does that mean in the first fight that he's not the A side over Usyk, when Usyk hadn't had any signature wins? Just like Crawford at the welterweight picture, he hasn't really had the victorious victories like Errol Spence, right? Usyk had fought against Derek Chisora and Chaz Tablespoon. That's it, So it was in defeating Joshua, that's where he probably gained some leverage, because he beat him. He has the belts. There was a rematch clause, and I'm sure he's getting better money for the rematch. So why would it be different for Crawford? And it's funny that boxing fans are playing this game. It seems to be understood in any other situation until it's not convenient. When Wilder had one belt and Anthony Joshua had the other belts in the heavyweight division, and they were both undefeated, Wilder was making a lot of noise. They were both undefeated. Old media said that Joshua was the A side and Wilder got to take whatever Eddie Hearn gives him. He got to fight in the UK and all these sorts of things, because it was apparent that Joshua had 3 belts and Wilder only had 1 belt, and Joshua was the man in the A side. And Wilder even agreed to these terms, and then they still moved the goalpost and didn't make the fight, which is a whole separate video. But moving back to Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, I do hope the fight happens, but I don't see why people are having such a difficult time understanding and embracing what's going on here. Bernie saying Crawford moved up multiple weight classes. So what does that have to do with the matter at hand, which is Errol Spence and Crawford at this particular weight of 147, where Errol Spence is the big fish, like he keeps saying, where he is the king of the division, where he does have more belts. It sounds insane to me, to be honest, to see certain things that are so flagrant, so in your face, so obvious, and people are overcomplicating it. You see one guy who beat 3 champions, 2 unifications, 1 as a challenger, and that was the Kell Brook, Sean Porter, Ugas fights, and he emerged and remained undefeated, emerged victorious, and he has those 3 belts, and Terence Crawford has 1 belt that he's been babysitting and had since he moved up to the welterweight division. And the question somehow is, why not an even split? Again, in business, it's no love lost. Crawford, he's a beast. Errol Spence is a beast. But it don't matter if you're a beast or if you're not a beast. At the end of the day, business must make sense. So I hope this doesn't get to a point where we don't get the fight because of politics. And I'm trying to remain optimistic, but when I see Crawford's team saying stuff like that, it does cause some concern, because to me, if this is a sentiment of somebody who's part of Crawford's team, who knows if Crawford or other members of his team also feel like this. And to me, it's not rocket science. It's not hard to understand why and how Errol Spence is the big fish. Hey, man, that's that cat. It makes all the sense in the world. So people, I think sometimes in life, create complexities that don't need to be there. They overcomplicate things that are pretty simple. 2 + 2 = 4. No more, no less. That's what has been discussed in terms of arithmetic and mathematics. You don't have to overcomplicate it. So although Crawford's a great fighter, skillfully, I mean, it's like Crawford's team has this, I want to say almost top-ranked brainwashing where they're stuck in the past, and it's an archaic way of thinking. Everything is like passe. Oh, I got belts. Oh, I moved up multiple weight classes. I had all the belts in the previous division. And that somehow, some way makes you, in today's boxing and the landscape of today's boxing, this is not the 1960s where belts may have meant something different, right? Where you being undisputed in the 90s meant something different. We're in a whole different era of boxing, and it's pretty easy to see. But I'll continue talking about this. SLC, subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know how I did in this video. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $ in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel